The large hall fell silent as Admiral Susan Wells walked to the center of the Galactic Council chamber. Her black uniform stood out among the colorful robes of the alien representatives. Behind her, Richard Carter, Earth's head diplomat, carried a small box containing Earth's official seal. For 20 years, humans had tried to be good members of the galactic community. For 20 years, they had been laughed at, used, and pushed aside. Today, that would end. "Esteemed council members," Susan said, her voice calm but firm, "I come before you with Earth's final message." The Valyrian Prime Minister, Lord Zex, rolled his four eyes. His blue skin wrinkled with annoyance. "Earth brings yet another complaint. What now? Did someone hurt your feelings again?" Quiet laughter rippled through the chamber. Susan did not react. Earth is not filing a complaint. Earth is leaving the Galactic Council. Completely. The laughter stopped. All human ships, colonies, and bases are being called home. All shared technology access will end. All trade deals will stop. We will remove ourselves from galactic affairs. Lord Zex stood up, his tall form towering over his desk. "This is about the terraforming technology, isn't it? We told you, humans are not ready. We asked for help to fix our planet," Richard cut in. "A planet damaged while mining resources that built your luxury towers on Valyria Prime. You said no." A representative from the lizard-like Kreth banged his fist. "Humans always want handouts. Your kind is weak. The galaxy will be better without you." Susan looked around the room. She saw the Zillions buzzing to each other, their hive mind probably calculating how to grab Earth's trade routes. She saw the Luminites, the only species who had ever treated humans fairly, looking sad. "We came to this council with open hands," Susan said. "We offered friendship. We shared our art, our music, our medical discoveries. We helped negotiate peace between the Kreth and Zillions when no one else could make them talk." And yet, Richard continued, "You called us primitive. You took our ideas and put your names on them. You gave us the worst jobs, the most dangerous missions." Susan pressed a button on her wrist. The large screen behind her lit up with a countdown. 48 o'clock, 00. In 2 Earth days, the last human ship will leave Council space. We are not asking permission. We are not open to negotiations. This is goodbye. Dr. Alan Porter, Earth's lead scientist, stepped forward. He was old, with white hair and kind eyes that now looked tired. "I have removed all human research from the shared databases. It is ours, not yours to steal anymore." Lord Zex laughed loudly. "And what great loss is that? Your primitive science, your childish art. Go then. The mighty Valyrians mastered space travel when humans were still living in caves." The Kreth general snarled. "The strong survive. The weak disappear. It is the way of the universe." Susan's face showed nothing, but her hand tightened on her uniform sleeve. "We tried it your way. We tried to earn respect. We failed. Not because we are weak, but because you never wanted to see our strength." As the Earth delegation turned to leave, a young Luminite named Patricia rushed forward. "Please," she said, her voice soft. "Not all of us think like them. Some of us value humans." Richard smiled sadly. "Thank you, Patricia. Your people were always kind. But one friend among 100 enemies is not enough reason to stay where we are not wanted." The big doors closed behind them with a heavy sound. In the following days, human ships everywhere received the call to come home. Bases were emptied. Outposts went dark. Human doctors took their medicines. Human engineers took their tools. On the last day, Diane Miller, the final human ambassador, delivered a short message to the council. "We tried to be friends. You chose to see weakness instead of compassion. So now we leave you to your own devices. Farewell." And then they were gone. The council members laughed it off. The galaxy was big. Humans were small. Who would notice their absence? They would learn, but not yet. 10 years passed since the humans left. The galaxy moved on without them. Few noticed their absence, and even fewer cared. I propose we divide the abandoned human territories, Lord Zex said during a council meeting. His blue skin had darkened with age, but his 4 eyes still held the same cold look. The Sol system will remain off-limits, but their outer colonies are fair game. The Kreth general, Gorn, nodded his scaled head. My people will take their mining outposts in the Centauri sector. Their equipment may be simple, but it is functional. No one objected. The humans had walked away, and the galaxy had shrugged. In the great library of the council, a young Luminite named Patricia Johnson carefully studied old records. Unlike most species, the peaceful Luminites had always respected humans. Now, Patricia watched with sadness as council workers removed human books from the shelves. "Excuse me," she said to a worker. "Why are you taking those away?" The worker, a thin Zillion with clear wings, buzzed in annoyance. "Council orders. Human contributions to the archives are being removed. Their medical techniques are outdated. Their literature is primitive. Their history is irrelevant." Patricia picked up a book about human healing methods, but their approach to medicine helped cure the Bellis fever on my homeworld when nothing else worked. The Zillion took the book from her hands. "The Zillion hive mind has developed better methods now. We have no need for human ideas." Across the galaxy, all traces of human influence were slowly erased. Their names disappeared from discovery records. Their artwork was removed from museums. Their peace treaties were rewritten to give credit to other species. At a popular bar on the Central Space Station, Commander Zarek of the Kreth military drank with his soldiers. His rough voice carried across the room. "Remember how the humans used to talk about their special ability to adapt?" He laughed, showing sharp teeth. "Where are they now? Hiding on their little blue planet, probably going back to living in dirt houses." His soldiers roared with laughter. "Perhaps they finally accepted their place in the universe," Zarek added. At the bottom, no one noticed Patricia sitting quietly in the corner, recording everything in her journal. As a xenoanthropologist, she studied different species and their cultures. The humans had fascinated her the most. In the council chambers, the trade committee met to discuss new routes. "We need to reroute the main supply line," said Lox, a Valyrian trade minister. "It currently passes near the Sol system." "Why change it?" asked a new member. "It's the fastest path." Lox looked annoyed. "The Sol system is now classified as a self-isolated primitive zone. We avoid it out of courtesy." The last word dripped with sarcasm. The new routes were longer and less efficient, but no one complained. Pride was more important than practicality. On the edges of council space, small problems began to appear. Border disputes that humans used to help solve grew tense. Medical research slowed without human doctors asking their strange, what-if questions that often led to breakthroughs. Trade agreements became more complicated without human negotiators finding middle ground. But these were small issues, hardly worth noticing. In his grand office, Lord Zex reviewed reports from across the galaxy. A small note caught his attention. Something about decreased efficiency in the power systems designed by humans. He dismissed it with a wave of his hand. "If human technology fails, we will build better," he told his assistant. "The galaxy thrived before they joined us. It will thrive without them." Patricia Johnson watched and worried. She alone seemed to understand what was happening. In her private journal, she wrote, "They do not see it yet, but there are holes where humans used to be. Small holes now, but they are growing." The galaxy had shrugged when humans left. Soon, it would feel the weight of their absence. 30 years after the humans left, the first big problems began to show. The galaxy that had laughed at their departure was no longer laughing. In the border region between Kreth and Zillion space, warships faced each other. What had started as a small argument over mining rights had grown into a full war. Shots had been fired. Ships had been destroyed. People had died. "They must remove their ships from our space," shouted General Gorn, pounding his fist on the council table. His scales had turned a dark red with anger. The Zillion Queen's voice buzzed through her translator. "Those are our minds. They have always been our minds. Your ships are the ones who must leave." Lord Zex, now the council leader, raised his hands for quiet. "We have rules for settling such matters. The Council Peace Protocol will." "Your peace protocol has failed 3 times. Gorn interrupted. "It was written by the Valyrians, for the Valyrians. It does not work for other species." No one mentioned that the original border agreement had been written by human diplomats, who had somehow managed to keep both sides happy for decades. That agreement had expired 5 years ago, and the new one was full of problems. In another part of the galaxy, the Central Medical Station was in crisis. Dr. Len, a respected Valyrian physician, looked at the spreading disease with worry. "We've tried everything in the medical database," he told his team. "Nothing works on this new strain." A young doctor suggested, "What about that old human treatment? The one using there, what did they call it?" "Antibiotics." Dr. Len frowned. "Those records were removed from the database years ago, considered outdated." The disease continued to spread. On the Valyrian homeworld, the Science Council met to review progress on new technology. The meeting was not going well. "Our advancement rate has dropped by 60%, said Chief Scientist Mira. "We haven't had a major breakthrough in 15 years. An older scientist named Vex looked up from his datapad. "I've analyzed the problem. Before the humans left, many of our advances came from building on their strange ideas. They would suggest something impossible, we would prove why it wouldn't work, and in the process, we'd discover something new." "Are you saying we need humans to advance?" another scientist asked, sounding offended. "I'm saying," Vex replied carefully, "that different ways of thinking create sparks. Those sparks create new ideas." The room grew quiet. No one wanted to admit he might be right. In a small research station, Patricia Johnson, now older and respected in her field, received an urgent message. The council wanted her expertise on humans. After 30 years of ignoring her work, they suddenly found it valuable. "We need to locate Kevin Clark," the message said, "the last human scientist who stayed behind. His help is needed." Patricia sighed as she wrote her reply. "Kevin Clark returned to Earth 25 years ago, after the Zillion Academy took credit for his research. I warned you this would happen." Across council space, systems that humans had helped build or maintain were breaking down. The translation network that allowed different species to understand each other worked poorly. The farm systems that grew food for many worlds were producing less. Even the entertainment network seemed boring and repetitive without human stories and music. In the council chamber, Lord Zex looked at the reports with growing concern. Trade was down. Conflicts were up. Progress had slowed. People were unhappy. "Perhaps," he said quietly to his assistant, "we made an error in judgment." His assistant looked shocked. About the humans? They were just one species among hundreds. How important could they be? Lord Zex stared at the star map on the wall. The Sol system was marked with a red circle, forbidden territory. "I'm beginning to wonder," he replied. "The problems started small. Now they grow bigger each year. It's like..." "Like what?" his assistant asked. "Like we removed something important from the galaxy. Something we didn't understand until it was gone." Outside the window, news arrived of another border war breaking out. The cracks were getting bigger, and no one knew how to fix them. 50 years had passed since humans left the council. The galaxy was no longer working well. Resources were running out. Wars had broken out in many sectors. The Grand Galactic Council, once proud and strong, now faced problems it could not solve. In a secret meeting room, Lord Zex met with leaders from all major species. "We must face the truth," he said, his blue skin now pale with age and worry. "Our civilization is in trouble. The problems grow worse each year." The Zillion Queen buzzed nervously. Our hive minds have calculated complete system failure within 20 years if nothing changes. General Gorn of the Kreth, now missing an eye from the border wars, growled, "What do you suggest? We've tried everything." Lord Zex took a deep breath. "Not everything. We haven't tried." Asking the humans for help. The room exploded with noise. Some laughed. Some shouted in anger. Some sat in shocked silence. The humans, a Valyrian minister cried. The primitive species that ran away when things got difficult. Why would they help us now? Patricia Johnson, now a respected elder among the Luminites, spoke calmly. They did not run away. We pushed them away. There's a difference. Lord Zex nodded. I have reviewed all records from that time. The humans asked for simple things: respect, fair treatment, help with their homeworld. We gave them none of these. And now we're supposed to beg them for help. General Gorn asked. Not beg, Lord Zex replied. Ask, as equals. The vote was close, but in the end, the council agreed. A ship would be sent to Earth, the first official council visit to the Sol system in 5 decades. The ship chosen for the mission was the finest in the fleet, the Star Voyager. Ambassador Gregory Wilson, a respected Valyrian diplomat, led the mission. Patricia Johnson joined as an expert on human culture. We expect to find a struggling civilization, Ambassador Wilson told his crew. Humans have been cut off from galactic knowledge for 50 years. They may have regressed to a pre-space travel state. Patricia wasn't so sure. Don't underestimate them, she warned. Humans are very good at solving problems. As the Star Voyager approached Earth's solar system, the sensors detected something strange. Captain, the science officer called out, I'm picking up an energy field around the entire system. It's like nothing we've seen before. The captain frowned. Can we pass through it? I believe so, but our systems may not work correctly inside. Ambassador Wilson straightened his formal robes. Proceed with caution. As they crossed the energy field, most of the ship's advanced systems shut down. They continued on emergency power only. When they reached Earth orbit, the crew stared in disbelief at the view screens. The planet below was not the polluted, damaged world that humans had described 50 years ago. It was beautiful, blue oceans, green forests, clean white clouds, and surrounding the planet was a defensive system beyond anything the Council had ever built. Try to contact them, Ambassador Wilson ordered. The communications officer sent message after message. The only reply was an automated response. Humanity has moved on. What does that mean? The captain asked. Where have they gone? Patricia studied the planet below. Their cities are still there. I can see them, but I'm not detecting the pollution or radiation that cities normally create. Ambassador Wilson looked confused. Scan for human colonies on other planets. Check Mars, the moons of Jupiter, all the places they used to have outposts. The science officer's voice was shaky when he replied. Sir, all former human colonies are empty. The buildings are there, but no humans. No signs of battle or disaster. They just left. In a final desperate attempt, Ambassador Wilson broadcast on all channels. People of Earth, this is the Galactic Council. We come in peace. We wish to speak with you about matters of great importance. We may have been mistaken in our assessment of your species. The silence that followed was broken only by a soft, automated voice. Message received. No response available. Humanity has moved on. As the Star Voyager prepared to return to Council space with this disturbing news, Patricia looked out at the beautiful blue planet that humans had somehow restored. They fixed their world without our help, she whispered. What else have they done in 50 years? The return of Ambassador Wilson's mission caused panic in the Council. Their report about Earth, beautiful, restored, protected by unknown technology, shocked everyone. But the words, humanity has moved on, scared them most of all. Where had the humans gone? What did it mean? Search all records, Lord Zex ordered. Check every outpost, every station. Find out what the humans have been doing for 50 years. The Council sent ships to scan the Sol system from a distance. They did not dare cross the energy field again after the Star Voyager nearly got stuck there. The scans showed something incredible. Ships coming and going from Earth, using a type of drive that Council scientists could not understand. They're not trapped on their planet, General Gorn said during an emergency meeting. They've been traveling. But where? How? Our sensors can't track their ships once they leave the Sol system. The Council's intelligence agency began searching for clues. They found them in unexpected places. On a small world far from Council space, a Luminite colony had survived a deadly plague 10 years earlier. The colony leader finally admitted the truth to Council investigators. Human doctors came, she said. They brought medicine we had never seen before. They asked us to tell no one. They said the Council had abandoned us, but they would not. The investigators were shocked. Why would they help you in secret? The Luminite smiled. They said not all friendships need to be announced. Some work better in the quiet. More discoveries followed. 5 different species on the edge of Council space had been helped by humans over the years. Each time, the humans came quietly, solved problems, and left without asking for anything in return. In the Great Archives, Council researchers made another disturbing find. They discovered old data from human scientists that had been ignored 50 years ago. The data showed predictions about resource shortages, economic problems, and even the border wars, exactly what had happened since. They knew, a young researcher told Lord Zex, the humans tried to warn us about these problems. They offered solutions. We deleted their warnings and laughed at their ideas. Meanwhile, the galaxy's economy continued to get worse. Systems designed by humans long ago were breaking down completely. No one fully understood how to fix them. Laura Barnes, a Council researcher, made the most frightening discovery of all. While studying old star charts, she found strange readings from the far edge of the galaxy. It's the Void Cascade, she told the Council. A massive quantum anomaly that can tear apart space itself. Human scientists warned about it 60 years ago. No one believed them. How serious is this threat? Lord Zex asked. Laura's voice shook. The cascade will reach Council space in less than 5 years. When it does, entire solar systems will be destroyed. Do we have any defense against it? No, sir. But, Laura hesitated. We found evidence that humans were working on technology to neutralize the cascade before they left. They might have finished it by now. The Council chamber fell silent. The mighty races of the galaxy, who had mocked humans as primitive, now faced a threat only humans might be able to stop. At that moment, the Council's listening stations picked up something new. Communications between human ships and unknown civilizations from beyond Council space. The humans had not been hiding all these years. They had been exploring, making new friends, building new alliances with species the Council had never even met. Patricia Johnson, listening to the recordings, smiled sadly. They didn't need us after all. While we were busy laughing at them, they were busy growing, exploring, and preparing. Preparing for what? General Gorn asked. Patricia pointed to the star chart showing the approaching Void Cascade. For that, I think. The question is, after how we treated them, will they help us survive it? Lord Zex looked old and tired as he whispered, would we, if our positions were reversed? No one had an answer. The Void Cascade arrived faster than anyone expected. It started at the edge of Council space, a strange darkness that seemed to eat the stars themselves. Planets near it experienced time moving at different speeds. Some worlds saw their suns age years in minutes. The very fabric of space was coming apart. In the Grand Council chamber, panic had replaced pride. Representatives from 20 worlds reported disasters. Millions of people were already dead. Billions more were in danger. Our best defensive systems did nothing, a Valyrian commander reported, his voice shaking. The shields failed instantly. The cascade just passed through them like they weren't there. Lord Zex, looking older than ever, faced the terrible truth. We cannot stop this. We cannot even slow it down. The Council's top scientists had worked day and night for months, but they had failed. Their understanding of quantum physics simply wasn't good enough. The foundations of their science had gaps that human scientists had tried to fill decades ago. President Eric Martinez, who had replaced Lord Zex as council leader when the crisis began, declared a state of galactic emergency. All worlds in the Cascades path must be evacuated immediately. We will use every ship we have. But the evacuation quickly turned to chaos. There weren't enough ships. There wasn't enough time. People fought to escape. Some ships were overloaded and failed to launch. Others were hijacked by desperate groups. The Valyrians, once the proudest species in the galaxy, abandoned their colonies to save their homeworld. The Kreth military took control of transport ships by force. The Zillion Queen left her own worker drones behind to die while the breeding population escaped. In the middle of this horror, a small research station picked up a strange signal. It appeared to be a human broadcast, but not directed at the Council. It seemed to be a conversation between human scientists. The station's director ordered it decoded. What they heard stunned them. Cascade containment plans are ready, a woman's voice said. The calculations check out. We can stop the Void Cascade's expansion. And should we? A man asked. After what they did to us. That's not who we are, the woman replied. Yes, they treated us badly. But there are trillions of innocent lives at stake. People who never did anything to hurt us. The Council would never have helped us if the positions were reversed. We're not the Council. We're human. That means something different. The recording ended there. The research station sent it to the Council immediately. Patricia Johnson, now serving as a special advisor, listened with tears in her eyes. Even now, they debate helping us. After everything we did. President Martinez looked desperate. Can we contact them? Beg them if we have to. Before anyone could answer, news arrived that the Cascade had accelerated. It would reach the galactic core in days, not months as predicted. The most populated worlds in the galaxy were directly in its path. In desperation, the Council tried one last approach. They found the old files of Dr. Nicole Howard, a human physicist who had worked on cascade theory before humans left the Council. Her research had been deleted from official records, but was found in Patricia Johnson's personal files. Council scientists sent Dr. Howard's equations to every research station. On a small outpost near the Cascade's edge, they got an unexpected reply. A video message showed an older woman with gray hair and kind eyes. Dr. Howard herself, alive and working all these years later. I see you finally found my old research, she said with a small smile. It's incomplete, of course. We've learned much more about the Cascade since then. The message included detailed plans for cascade mitigation technology, but no offer to implement it. The designs were far beyond what Council engineers could build in time. President Martinez made a galaxy-wide broadcast. To any humans who can hear this message, we were wrong. We treated your species with disrespect and arrogance. Now we face extinction. If you can help us, please do. Not because we deserve it, but because we finally understand what we lost when you walked away. The galaxy held its breath, waiting to see if humans would return before it was too late. The Void Cascade tore through the outer systems of the galaxy. Whole worlds vanished. Space itself twisted and broke. The Council's greatest scientists watched in horror as their calculations showed the galactic core would be hit within hours. Trillions would die. Civilization would end. In the Council's emergency command center, the mood was grim. There was nothing left to do but wait for the end. The evacuation has failed, General Gorn reported. We've only moved a small fraction of the population. The rest. He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't need to. President Martinez stared at the large screen showing the Cascade's advance. So this is how it ends. Not with a fight, but with forces we can't even understand. Patricia Johnson sat quietly in the corner. Despite everything, she still held hope. Humans understand it, she said softly. They always did. The radar officer's voice suddenly cut through the silence. Sir, multiple objects appearing at the edge of the system. Everyone turned to the screen. At first, they thought it was another effect of the cascade. Then they realized the truth. Ships. Hundreds of them. Unlike any vessels the Council had ever seen. Are they human? President Martinez asked, his voice barely a whisper. The communications officer's hands shook as she reported, "We're receiving a transmission. It's from Fleet Commander Jack Robinson of Earth." On the main screen, a human face appeared. A man with dark skin and serious eyes looked out at them. "This is Commander Robinson of the Human Alliance. We've detected the Void Cascade's advance into your space. We're here to help." No one spoke. The shock was too great. "I am transferring technical data to your systems," the human continued. "Please clear all ships from the following coordinates. Our containment vessels need space to work." President Martinez found his voice at last. "Commander, thank you. We didn't think you would come." The human's face showed no emotion. "We didn't come for you, Mr. President. We came for the trillions of innocent lives in this galaxy, people who never did anything to harm us." More human ships appeared, positioning themselves in a perfect pattern around the edge of the cascade. They were sleek, beautiful vessels that seemed to glow with their own light. "How?" Lord Zex began, then corrected himself. "Your technology. It's far beyond what we have." "Yes," Commander Robinson replied simply. "It is." The human ships began to emit strange energy fields. Where they touched the darkness of the cascade, the broken space began to heal. Stars that had been twisted back into normal positions, planets that were caught in time distortion stabilized. On a smaller screen, Chief Diplomat Olivia Patel appeared, a woman with intelligent eyes and a calm voice. "The cascade is a natural phenomenon," she explained. "It cannot be destroyed, only contained. We're creating a stabilization field that will direct it away from populated areas. The process will take approximately 20 hours. As the Council watched in amazement, the human ships worked with perfect coordination. The cascade, which had been expanding in all directions, slowly began to move along a controlled path, away from the galactic core. The Valyrian High Command, once so certain of their superiority, watched in silence. Their most advanced defensive systems had failed completely, yet human technology was controlling a force of nature itself. While the work continued, human vessels began appearing near planets that had been abandoned by the Council's evacuation efforts. They were rescuing people the Council had left behind. Admiral William Foster's voice came through on the emergency channel. "All species in the path of the cascade, we have room for you. We will not ask what world you come from or what species you are. We only ask that you maintain order and help those around you." In the council chamber, Patricia Johnson smiled through her tears. "This is who they always were," she said. "This is what we couldn't see." Lisa Cooper, a human diplomat, asked to address the council directly. When her face appeared on the screen, her words were both kind and firm. "We didn't leave because we were weak. We left because we knew our strength, and you weren't ready for it. Now the question is, have you learned enough to build something better together?" The galaxy had regretted everything. Now it had a second chance to get it right.